listening to Breakfast with Tiffany with your host, Tyffanie Morgan.
That's right, sweeties. It's me. It's me. Bum. Bum. Well, hello there, my little sweeties, my little love muffins from all around the big blue world. This is your hostess, Miss Tiffany Morgan, calling to you live from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, the home of limestone and the home to me, Miss Tiffany Morgan. Yes. Look, I got the video going here too, and the lighting looks like I have a big old halo. Goodness sakes, Saint Tiffany is here for you right now. Well, hi, sweeties. So, welcome to the program. Welcome. You're listening to CFRC 101.9 FM here in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Yes, exactly, Rowena. It's me. It's me. And today we're going to listen to the second part of an interview that I did. So last week, I interviewed Vinny Von Vinci, who is a fabulous drag king in town here, who comes from overseas originally, and just very new to drag as well. And if you don't know, I'm a drag queen as well, Tiffany Morgan. You can search me up. And where am I going with that? But yeah, I interviewed Vinny, and we had some technical difficulties, and we just kept going on and on and on. So I had to do a two-parter. Because we broke down after 15 minutes the first time, and then we did another like 20 minutes of talking the second time. It was just so much fun. It's just so much fun talking to Vinny about the drag in the Netherlands and Amsterdam. Just that different side, drag king kind of side of things, because it's always slightly different. Drag queens, getting together, and then drag kings getting together, and yeah, it was just great listening to the interview. So let's, without any further ado, let's bring on that recording. So welcome to the stage, Vinny Von Vinci. All right, well, we're back on the line here. We're listening to CFRC 101.9 FM, CFRC.ca, and you're listening to Breakfast with Tiffany with me, Miss Tiffany Morgan, drag queen extraordinaire, and I'm speaking to Vinny Von Vinci on the phone, a drag king extraordinaire here in Kingston, Ontario, and we had a little minor technical glitch there, but we're back. So, Vinny...
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back. So we were kind of talking about your the birth of Vinny Von Vinci over in the Netherlands and in Amsterdam, and then you came to Kingston. So you did that for like 6 months or so, and then you came to Kingston.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I think so. The other thing is as well that in Amsterdam, as I had been doing drag for 6 months, I think so. There was no real scene before we started this house with drag kings in Amsterdam, right? There was a flourishing drag queen scene, as there is in Kingston, but drag kings, it seems that all over the world, all of a sudden, like there seems to become a little bit more space for drag kings to stand up and join the shows and the performances. Like, we've been around forever, but I feel that there's a kind of like an upsurge at the moment where drag kings are finding their way to the stage. But I do think that maybe because you were also asking me about what it kind of was that I bring to the stage,
Mm-hmm.
and as we had a little like technical glitch, I was also thinking about it, but I feel that maybe drag kings also have to bring something different to a stage than drag queens would have to do. I don't know what your opinion on that is, but I feel like if we would, just physically dress up as a man and then would lip sync like a male song, I feel it wouldn't have as much as like an oomph as a drag queen has when she does that. So I feel like we have to be a little bit more conceptual about how we go about in doing masculine impersonation.
So you're kind of saying that drag kings kind of have a little bit more to prove almost, really, on stage, right? Because the drag queen kind of is just put a little glitter on it and go out dancing sort of thing. But a drag king, you kind of have to put
Well,
extra
I
effort in it.
feel like first of all, like we don't have like the the big wigs, and we don't have the length to go with us. So I wouldn't say we have more to prove, but I do think it's a different kind of performance. Like when a man dresses up as a woman, there's already kind of like a comical aspect
Like a
to that.
pantomime sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah. And I think when women dress up as a man, like even though like drag, you know, um, it doesn't have to be political, but I do think that's not inherently funny. Women just dressing up as a man. So there's a difference there in what happens when you do drag in these different ways. And I haven't really been able to figure out what that difference exactly is. So I'm also kind of wondering, like I said, what you think about this. But I feel that that's also where the difference in performing comes from. But it really depends, because we also have Dare de la Femme in Kingston, and you know, Dare kind of actually does exactly that. Impersonates men and lip syncs, and dances a lot, like very awesome stage presence. Yeah, so I just think that maybe there's not as much of like a prescriptive um role model out there for drag kings, right? We're kind of like defining ourselves what it means to do drag as an AFAP performer.
Yeah, I can understand that. And because the RuPaul element, I would say, is a very strong element, because you have these, well, especially the newer queens who are coming out. I think RuPaul's Drag Race, it has kind of helped spawn the new drag queens, and then vice versa. All these new drag queens, obviously you're going to drag in new drag kings into the scene then too that way. But there's a different influence, right? So with the drag queens, like when I started before RuPaul's Drag Race, and now there's this push for, it's very pageant like, right? With the RuPaul queens, it's wearing all this padding and all this big hair, well, kind of pageant sort of thing, right? And that's putting an influence on the scene, both with the performers but also with the audience too, right? Because the
Yeah,
audience,
yeah, I think so.
yeah, the audience watches those. They watch it on the online programs on repeat and stuff like that. So they kind of expect some of that. But I think with me as like a host of a show, like this coming weekend, Cheap and Cheerful, Saturday, November 28th. buy your
Buy
tickets
your
on
tickets.
buy your tickets on dragshow.ca. What my responsibility is to try to bring some variations and stuff like that. So, and highlight the local talent. And I see you as local talent now.
Oh
you're
yeah, me
you're
too.
Kingston, right? You're Kingston born now.
Yep.
But
Yeah, no, and I think that's really valuable, because I do, so I don't watch a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race. This is maybe blasphemy coming from a drag king, but
this is a safe
I'm
space, dear. This
yeah, no, I've tried to watch it a couple of times, but I find it incredibly prescriptive, and it kind of takes away the 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 fun creative part for me. So like I can't watch a lot of it. And I'm kind of grateful that I got into drag without that influence, because for me it was I just was really open-minded, and I was in this open-minded space that kind of cultivated that as well. And I really feel that drag should be something that gender diverse people, or like whoever uh feels that they want to express themselves, gender wise, in however they feel comfortable. And I think, yeah, drag should be anything but prescriptive, if you ask me. So I think, organizing shows and really looking for that diversity is really important as well, and really appreciated, if you ask me.
yeah, yeah, the reality TV is formulaic. Right?
Hmm.
Reality TV is formulaic, and that is, but real life is not formulaic. And I really like the idea that, when you get a small group of performers together, they start challenging each other, right? you may see someone do something, you're like, oh, that gives me an idea to do something better or something like that.
Mm.
And you kind of challenge yourself. And I kind of get that impression from you a bit when you, with your Lost Boys group there, that you probably were challenging each other and kind of just building that talent.
Yeah, I think that the Lost Boys is just very much about community, right? It's as much about drag as it is about community. The fact that you find, um, it's like a chosen family. It's it
Yeah.
sounds corny, but it's really true, right? You find these people that you share this very personal aspect with, and they've become my brothers, right? Like I've got drag brothers in the Netherlands, and we still often chat. And whenever I go back to the Netherlands, so I was back because of COVID. Well, obviously there was no performing back then. But I went back in December last year for the holidays, and I was back in the club performing every week. Back with my brothers and doing drag, and yeah, it's a community thing, I think, and there's lots of inspiring each other.
Well, yeah, that just warms my heart, my cold, shriveled up little heart. That just warms it. and you
Oh,
get
you're
to
fooling nobody.
and you get to do that in town here too now. So, yeah, because yeah, there's been a wellspring of drag king performers in town here. I know there was a wellspring of drag queens, but then there was drag kings, and that's really great to see. So it's interesting because you know with COVID, how has the outbreak, the pandemic, affected your art form?
Mm, so I first had a little bit of a hectic time getting home. I was in the Arctic when everything kind of blew
Oh,
up
I totally
because I
forgot about that too.
yeah, so I'm here
You had
because I'm doing a PhD in environmental studies, and I'm studying polar bears in the Arctic. So I just started my field work when everything just blew up. So
like you
I
literally
scrambled.
landed like 24 hours before then, right? And then
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so the idea was I landed and I was requested to make a turnaround straight away, and then I got stuck because of bad weather. So I got stuck in the Arctic for 4 days with perfect internet connection. So as I was not able to fly back home, I was able to kind of follow everything on my smartphone, see how all the borders were closing. Yeah, it was a bit crazy. Um, so yeah, it took me about 2 weeks in total to first go back to Kingston and then go back home with all my papers and everything. And then for a little while, to be honest, like drag felt really irrelevant to me.
mm,
I didn't know what, for me, drag is social activism. Um, so yeah, to me personally, drag is political. And when all this happened and we were all in lockdown and in quarantine, I had a really hard time figuring out how my drag was still relevant. So I had a little bit of a dip where I didn't do anything. And then after a while, I started doing looks again, and it made me immediately much more happy. But also, most of my drag stuff was still in Kingston while I was in the Netherlands. Um, so yeah, I think for 3 months I was struggling a bit, and then I came back to Kingston, and um, Dare La Femme, another drag king from Kingston, and we went out and we shot a video, and that was a really fun way to get back into drag again. Because also I still haven't performed in front of a webcam. Like it doesn't appeal to me. Like I said, I really like every other performer, right? Like we vibe of an audience. Like a
mm-hmm,
webcam is just
mm-hmm.
not gonna do it. um, and yeah, I would go as far as to say that I mean I might come back to it if we go back into a lockdown. But so far, I feel like drag without an audience or drag without a narrative that I can put in on a video, like it's just not worth it for me. So I've just been trying to find these creative ways around it, and I've been really happy with the few performances that I've been able to do here in Kingston in front of an audience. I've performed twice now, and apart from that, I just try to be creative in terms of producing videos. Yeah, if I do something digital, like it needs to be a little bit more than just me in front of a webcam.
Well, yeah, because you did something for a McMaster, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, you picked up on that. Yeah. Yeah. So I actually
Am I
co
calling you out?
Oh no, not at all. No, no, no. Again, Darren and I, we co-hosted a drag show for McMasters, and it was really cool because it was a show for their Pride History Week, and they had four drag king performers, which is also, doesn't happen too often that
No,
it's
no,
kings.
I think that was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I combined it by we were having these shows, but we combined it by also talking about the history of drag kings. So I found this awesome website called dragkinghistory.com.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really good. And I use that as a really rich resource, and I was kind of explaining like how long drag kings have been around, and what the history is of male impersonation. And there's been some badass people out there. Really fun stories.
all right. Well, I'm not too sure about my time right now.
Yeah, how long are these episodes?
Only 30 minutes.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I can chew off your ear for a whole night when we talk about this kind of stuff.
well, I want to, I do want to get your idea though. I may cut this part out. Well, what am I talking about? Anyway, I may cut that part out. I want to know what your idea of what like drag in the future might be. With,
Right.
yeah.
And you mean with regards to COVID, right?
Well, with COVID, but everything's changing, right? Because now with COVID, things are changing with COVID. For drag queens, they can't if they lip sync to songs that they don't own the rights to online, those sort of things. It's kind of
Right.
putting this new ideas into people's heads, and if you do perform, there's that physical barrier. Like, what do you think might be the future? Maybe it could be just going completely back.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to think uh that in essence drag is about community. Here in Kingston as well. If you see the people that come to these shows, it's a lot of the same people. They for them it's an opportunity to either also cross dress or come in drag or feel like they're among peers. So maybe it's maybe it will go in a direction where it's less about broadcasting, the actual performance, but um, more about creating a community around gender diversity and gender impersonation. That's really vague.
The connections, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, that's going to be hard if we're asked to continuously like socially distant.
Hmm.
But it's really that's actually a really hard thing for queer communities as well, right? So that's something that I'm also trying to figure out, like how can we, for a lot of people, these evenings are really important, more important than maybe for cisgendered straight people, right? Because these are our chosen families that we seek out in these communities, in these spaces. And yeah, as COVID has kind of wiped that out, um, we need to find alternative answers for that. And I don't know yet what that is, but it would be cool to see how drag can play a role in that.
Great. Well,
No
Vinny,
answer, just more questions.
just more questions, exactly. Well, Vinny, thank you so much for being on the program today. So, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Great. And we hope to see you on a stage or on a video screen or somewhere sometime soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was Vinny Von Vinci. That was the second part of our interview that we did. And yeah, just listening back to it again, it's really interesting because I sometimes forget like about the community aspect of drag. Because when I'm thinking of drag, I'm thinking of the art form, the performance, the art form. I also think at it from from kind of like the business side, right? Like event planning and getting onto the stage and stuff. But Vinny was looking at it predominantly from a community kind of side, where we get together, the drag artists and stuff like that get together and kind of build a community of like-minded people, and yeah, it's really nice to hear stuff like that, especially hopefully getting together as a drag king community here in Kingston, and it's a growing community. It's a growing community for sure. Oh my word! But yeah, just so many different little things about that, and yeah, the archetypes, because in essence, when you compare drag queens and drag kings, drag queens, especially for people who may want to see it, that they're like they have an idea of what that is, and it's kind of breaking societal kind of norms, right, and cultural norms, right? Because a man dressing as a woman is still today kind of a against the grain sort of thing, right? But a woman dressing as a man, it's not so much necessarily against the grain that way. But once you do see drag kings in performance, like I think that's the problem, is just get people out to see drag kings performing and get to see their art form. And once you see it, let me tell you, it's a good time. It's a good time. So, as a recap, unfortunately, I did mention Cheap and Cheerful drag show in that last clip, but that was last weekend, Sweet Peas. That is finished. We had a great time. The tables were all sold out. People want to go out. People want to go out and have a nice, safe evening of entertainment. So I'm glad that we had that, and we had Fabian Fabulous as a drag king on stage. And let me tell you, he was pushing the boundaries. He was pushing the boundaries. You don't think, like, when you hear blah blah blah, a woman dressed as a man. Oh, okay, well, whatever. Well, trust me, they when you get them drag king on stage, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. And I enjoyed it so much. And thank you, Fabian Fabulous. Thank you, Rowena Way. And thank you, Mimiosa, for last weekend at Cheap and Cheerful. But let's bring up our upcoming events. Oh, actually, first, before I go do that, here's a little plug. So, C4C, you are listening to C4C 101.9 FM. And if you love local programming, please think about supporting your local radio station. So, go to cfrc.ca/donate now. And donate now is one word. So, DONATENOW. So, cfrc.ca/donate now. Doesn't matter how small or how big or whatever. Just if you can donate, that'd be great. Thank you so much. Also, I am fundraising for the Rainbow Railroad, which saves LGBTQI lives around the world, helping them get out of dangerous situations that could cause bodily harm, if not death, sort of situations. There's a lot of unsafe areas out there in the world, and saving lives is, in my mind, the ultimate thing to be doing. So if you feel like donating today, please donate. I have a little team of drag performers who are helping me raise money too. So that's at donate.rainbowrailroad.org/fabulous. So that's donate.rainbowrailroad.org/fabulous. Or you can go to our website, dragshow.ca, and there should be links there as well. All right, so yeah, let's talk about upcoming events, shall we? All right, sweet peas. So, outin.ca, your source for queer information in and around Kingston, all the different kind of events and things going on here. So, what do we have going on? Well, speak about Rainbow Railroad. We're doing some drag shows to help raise money for Rainbow Railroad. So, Ho Ho Holiday Drag Spectacular. we are having 2 nights, sweet peas. That's 2 nights of drag shows with drag performers, different drag performers for each of the shows. So that is on Friday, December the 11th, and also on Saturday, December the 12th. Tickets are on sale now, sweet peas. They're on sale now. So go to dragshow.ca. That's dragshow.ca to buy your tickets for either the Friday or Saturday or both. And all the proceeds, after expenses and stuff like that, all the proceeds are going to Rainbow Railroad. And hopefully this year, sweet peas, we'll be able to save an LGBTQI life. You know, I'm really hoping for it. I'm really hoping for it. If you want to donate as well, like I said, you can donate separately. But all the proceeds to this is going to Rainbow Railroad. But what else is going on? So this afternoon, so there's the Queer Prom radio show at 4 p.m. on CFRC 101.9 FM. We have Beers for Queers every Saturday. We also have Gender Talk coming up Tuesday at 5 p.m. on CFRC 101.9 FM. And then the Ho Ho Holiday Drag Spectacular. There is, later on in the month, there will be a holiday special, Ho Ho Home for the Holidays, and that's an online thing. So if you're not inclined to go in person, at least you can log in online. And there's also Rowena's organizing, and I may be part of it. But Rowena is organizing a New Year's dinner and drag show on December 31st, starting at 7 p.m. at the 4 Point Sheraton. So tickets are available on Eventbrite right now. So that's dinner and a show. And yeah, so that's on the 31st. We're going right into the future here, sweeties. We're going right into the future. But yeah, no, there's lots of things going on in and around Kingston and the LGBT in the LGBT world. There we go. Not too sure where I'm going with that part. But yeah, sweet peas. So, thank you so much for logging in and listening to this little drag queen ranting away here on the airways and stuff like that. I want to again thank Vinny Von Vinci for having that interview with me, sitting down and virtually sitting down and just putting up with me. So thank you, Vinny. Maybe I didn't catch everything right off the bat, but here we go. Yeah, and what am I talking about here? I'm looking at my notes and I'm just trying to think what else I'm going to say. Oh, well, Tiff's Garden, hashtag Tiff's Garden. So my Christmas cactus is in bloom. Yeah, my Christmas cactus is in bloom. It's so pretty. I'm how is everyone else's indoor gardens doing these days? I'm looking outside right now and I see snow. I see snow, and I want to see green. I do see some green. There is a banana plant that's sitting right at the bottom of the window here. They have found spaces in every window in my house because I brought in so many of these banana trees, or plants, really. They're technically not a tree, but I brought in all of them. They just found spaces everywhere they could possibly find spaces. So this is one of the spaces in front of me right now in the window on the north side. Not that it's ever going to get any sunlight on the north side, but hey, we're trying. I'm trying my best. What can I say? Sweet peas? All right, so happy December. It's getting close to the end of 2020. We can raise our hands for that. There are prospects of vaccines out there. I am in the Christmas spirit. What can I say? I'm in the Christmas spirit. I'm enjoying this. So sweet peas, I give you my love. Mwah. You stay safe now.